Welcome to my new channel, everyone. Uh, if you've subscribed, liked and shared this first video, thank you so much. Right, as an introduction, my name is Bernie. I am a New Zealander. I live in the Manawatu, which is the central North Island of New Zealand, in a city called Palmerston North. And I am modelling North American HO. I dabble in multiple scales and prototypes, but I'm gotten really into North American HO, and I decided to start a dedicated channel for this prototype scale. I do have another channel called Small Rails 6831, which is there predominantly for my UK O gauge, where I have a small micro layout which is actually underneath this layout at the present time. So I'm just going to show you just a very brief overview of the layout, which is heavily under construction. I'll just pan along here. This is the first section I built. You can hear an Athearn locomotive just with its radio function going. Lights are off, engine is off, but it's a really cool feature of the Athearn Genesis locomotives. This has random sounds that play even when it's just sitting on the track. So it's very cool, in fact. Anyway, this is the first section of the layout, which you can also just see down below is the other layout, but we're not going to focus on that at all on this channel. If you want to see any content, go to Small Rails 6831. Anyway, so this particular section of the layout is I'm not that happy with, to be honest. It was actually sort of built initially as a shorter shunting or switching layout, which ended about there, and that last section's been added on. But at the time I built this, probably 18 months ago or more, I was on a very tight budget, so the way I constructed it is actually very heavy. I've like sandwiched 2 layers of 12mm ply to sort of make a total of 24, and it's got a flat bottom under there, and all the wiring is actually buried inside the layout, so if anything did go wrong, it's problematic. Now the other thing is, while it operates reasonably well and will continue to operate for the next period of time, there is a runaround track. I'll just actually take the camera off the tripod and we'll just show you a bit more of the track plan and explain why I'm not 100% happy with it for my home layout. But with all the ballast and material and that I've put into it, I'm tempted just to keep it as an exhibition style layout, because it has an entry and exit at both ends of the layout, which for exhibition purposes, where switching for 6-7 hours at a time is quite tiring, I could actually build some temporary boards and form a continuous loop around the back and just have some trains continuously running. Alright, bear with, and I'll just take the camera off the tripod. Alright, here we go. So this is the new end here. Now, first mistake I made was with this particular section with the Industries back there. the head shunts or the track industrial leads are too short. This one here is okay for the runaround track, so there's a runaround track there and there, so a loco can pull a train in and then run around it so it can access these other industries back there, Kiwi Lumber, Dulux Paints, and also Griffin's Foods and Sims Metal. But at the moment Sims Metal is not railway served. That's another issue. It was going to be a team track, but it does need to be longer. So yeah, I'm a bit limited with like the centre beam car to pull a locomotive into here, clear the point so it can reverse back. Sometimes it would be good to actually have two freight cars that I could pull into here, so I really need at least another 30-40 centimeters or a foot added on. And sometimes, depending on how the train has been assembled, it would be handy to have a longer lead here so the locomotive can perhaps even pull the first car off the train and move that to the other end if need be. But that's not a major issue. So in short, there will be a new section. Plus the other thing that's problematic here is it's all one piece, and I probably need either a long station wagon. We call them station wagons. I think they were called an estate in the US, or a van or a trailer. It would struggle to go in my big sedan. So the plan is I'll actually put up a track plan of what I'm going to do. So it's probably just going to be one piece which goes to about there where it sits on the top of the O gauge layout, and it'll have two industries on it, which could also be taken somewhere and exhibited just as a small layout. So essentially that'll form the head shunt or the yard lead with two push sidings or reverse sidings on either side of the where the industrial lead or the head shunt, as they call it in New Zealand and the UK, finishes. Now but that's not going to be done for the time being. I can still use that to operate these other industries, but here is the newest section of the layout, which I'll just pan back, which is a little bit of an L section. Now this I have built the way I should have built the other section. Over the years I've built baseboards different ways, but this one, if we can have a look up underneath, is your typical ladder frame with the bus wiring and the wiring underneath it, and then having a fascia connected. And it's a lot lighter than this layout, and it's stronger. So in upcoming episodes, we're going to focus on scenicking and sort of finishing this module of the layout. There'll be just a small back scene, not too high, in order that it can easily be, this layout plan will be 3 sections and can be transported in my car if need be. So that's going to be added shortly. I will just bear with, sorry, I'm just bending down and picking up the industry building. Sorry, a bit hard holding the camera and trying to place that in situ. So, alright, it's not lined up properly. Sorry guys, bear with. Alright, we'll leave it there for the time being, so you just get an idea. So this is a cement storage plant, which is a Walthers kit, which I've painted and fully weathered. So this siding here is going to be Cosmos cement. So it will, I've got to get a couple of, probably up to 3 or 4 cement hoppers, the shorter 2-bay ones, which are commonly used for cement for this industry in coming couple of months. So, and it's got a nice long track, so the train can actually push them through the dump shed, where the cement powder is then sucked up and stored in the silos. This will be like a transload area, so trucks will back up to these roller doors to be filled. So at the moment I've just in the last few days just ballasted this track. As I'm getting older, I've learnt to be a bit more patient, and this layout was featured on my Small Rails channel, and there's been some extensive running on it unballasted, so it was kind of good testing. So here I've got a section of wall where there'll be another about 1 metre to 1.2 metre section of board, the same width as this end section here, which is about 30 centimetres, 28 to 30 centimetres. So there'll be legs, and that will be the home to another industry. So I haven't decided exactly what it's going to be, but it'll be a low relief industry where I can spot syrup or chemical cars and box cars, and that will run along the back. There'll be a point that comes off, and initially there'll probably only be one interchange track where the operations will start and stop basically. But the plan is to add another track which will be for locomotive staging. So if there's room, there may be a maintenance shed. No, cancel that. I had cancelled that idea. Yeah, it'll probably just be another interchange track. So there can be switching on that board, assembling the train to actually go out onto the layout, but it'll be fully scenic. So the locomotives will have a stabling track on the new shorter section here, and the idea, the locomotive will depart, run down through the layouts, and then onto section 3 and couple up to its train, and then bring the train back onto the layout, and then switch to the probably initially only about 4 industries, maybe 5 if I do a team track scenario. Alright, so I will leave it at that for now. So yes, this is US outline HO modelling here in New Zealand. Feel free to subscribe, like and share. Share your comments, share ideas, share tips. I'm learning all the time. 54, been modelling since I was very young, so probably over 40 years. But in my younger years, marriage and children and that, there was a patch where I didn't partake in the hobby. But yeah, it's you never stop learning. It's the greatest hobby on earth, and so multifaceted. But yeah, the other reason I went with US outline is the ready to run models are so fantastic. They run so well, they couple up. There's such a great variety of North American freight cars, not found probably outside of Europe. Possibly Europe is becoming less so with more flat car operations and container cars, but yeah, my fleet of locomotives do not run keep alives, and despite my track being not perfect, the sound is faultless. They run perfectly well, unlike other brands of models I've had in the past, especially with UK Outline. They did not run well without with sound, especially without keep lives. Alright, this may be split into two sections, but look out for more great content coming up on this channel. Bye for now, take care, be safe, and like and subscribe so you're notified of all the new videos as they come online. Take care.